congratulations on your People's Choice Award for Never Have I Ever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you. For a show I'm not on. I appreciate it. No, I co-created the show. Yes. Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, and the sex lives of college girls and just
So good.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing men love her. That's so nice. Oh, good. Is that I have, my dad is really hands-on grandfather. He literally comes 3 times a day to the house. He takes my son out for like a walk around the neighborhood every single morning at 8 a.m. so like I can take a shower and like, go and make breakfast for the kids or do laundry, and then he picks my daughter up from school every day. So he's really helpful. And I think particularly for women who don't have a partner doing it, I feel really lucky that I have the resources to have a nanny who is basically my best friend and my roommate, and so I don't take that for granted at all. But the truth is about balance, and I'm sure people here who are parents know this, is that I have no balance in my life, and I just wait until something is right, like teetering on a catastrophe, and then I swoop in. So it'll be like, I'll go to work just when the cast is like, hey, is Mindy like work on the show? And I'm like, I'm here. And then at home, it's like just when they're about to start calling the nanny mom, I like appear. So I always find that one point, the critical point when everything is going to just blow up, and that's when I make my appearance.
Yeah, no, I think that's so true, and I was actually really careful to not ask you how do you balance it all, because there's no balance. Something is constantly, like you said, just about to catch fire.
Yes,
sure. So then, as you transition into your never-ending holiday season, with all of those things already going on, so at Zelle we did some consumer studies and saw that the top 3 stressors for folks during the holiday season is money, family obligations, and time. So how do you handle those stressors with all the events going on and gift giving? How do you, I was gonna say balance, but how do you handle that? And do you have any tips on giving the perfect gift? Because I've heard some fun stories that I think you like gift giving.
Okay, yeah, so the perfect gift, and we can just say this in regards, is cash. And I've learned that sort of the hard way after spending hours looking through catalogs, trying to find like the perfect wooden antique clock for someone that they will hate. So I feel like one of the reasons why I was so excited to partner with Zelle was because I already had it. All the young, cool women in my life already used it, and were like, you need to be using this. And so I already used it. And it's just a way, whether or not it's like for the holidays, or for just saying like, hey, you did great on this, whatever, here's a little gift, go get yourself a drink. For someone like me, I think right now the most thoughtful way that I can be about the people in my life is like being able to give them exactly what they want, which is cash, And so that's been really helpful, particularly now at the end of the year. It's like especially with the delays in shipping and everything else, like everything I get, every day I get an email from some company saying that my gifts won't arrive till 2 weeks after the new year or whatever. So for me, that's just the easiest thing. And I think there's like a little memo line where I'm a comedian, so like I write a little like joke or whatever. So that's how I personalize basically giving people money.
Yeah. That is awesome to hear. We are very supportive of that. So then
your guys are going to send me a bunch of money through Zelle, right? It's just going to be like $2 million just in my Zelle account.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. There's not any sort of send limits. Should be good. Perfect. Also, you think about your taking time for you, because all of these things that you're talking about is how you're giving to others and taking care of your family and work. How do you make time for yourself? Are there any things you do that just really helps you re-energize?
It's a great question, because I think like this idea of self-care is really important, but I think I'm Asian, so I think that growing up as a child of immigrants, the idea of self-care was just like too like woo-woo for my family. If you were a person that was like, I think I need some like me time and some self-care, like I'd be like obliterated by half my family. Because the idea of that, like you just like work hard until you die. That's the lifestyle. Yeah. And I think that that's something, I had a tiger mom and a tiger dad, and it's something that I always kind of grew up being like, no, that's the way. Just like always be like selfless and working hard until you die. And for the record, it has really helped my career a lot. However, it's very detrimental as a parent. So it wasn't really until I had my daughter 4 years ago that I was like, oh, like actually self-care will make me be a better parent. I do need to get sleep, otherwise I'm irritable and kind of a bad mom.
Yeah.
And so for me, I used to almost, I don't know, when you started in comedy writing when I was at the office, you would like brag if you were an actor writer, like how little sleep you got, right? I think like guys in finance do this too. And it's this like Wolf of Wall Street thing of like, didn't do anything, all I just care about making money and I'm so good at it, et cetera, et cetera. And so later when just like I had kids and my age was catching up with me a little bit, I was like, hey, I really need to not stigmatize sleep. And so for me right now, self-care is simply like really trying to get 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep. If that means that like I let my nanny go and wake up if I hear my son is like waking up, just like not feeling guilt about having my nanny go get him up and doing that occasionally, to me, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my way of doing self-care.
No, I think that's so important, and the letting go of the guilt is the key piece, because I think, and I'm going off script here, but I find that so relatable, because I find like my husband, who's amazing, just in case anyone's writing this down, he's awesome, but he finds the time and doesn't feel bad about going in the other room and watching football, and I'm like, I have a free moment, I should be reading them a story or teaching them something, so I think that's great that you're able to let go of that
guilt is very motivating as well. Guilt has a huge effect on my productivity as well, but yes, in smaller doses.
Yes. So then as you look a little bit, so we've talked about self-care and your career and family a little bit, but how do you think about community and how do you give back to your local or broader community? Are there causes you're particularly passionate about?
Yeah, the two that I'm most passionate about is PanCan, which is an organization so my mother passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2011, and for me, PanCan is an organization that's really helped me and my family almost like therapeutically, because it's such a devastating illness. So not that many people know about it. Before my mom had cancer, I didn't know a single person that had cancer, and I thought it'd be like, oh, Lance Armstrong had it and then he was okay, like, and he went on to bike forever. And it's a very different kind of cancer. The survival rate is 5%, and usually you live less than a year after diagnosis. And so I've been working with them to just get more awareness out, try to get more funding so that research can make tests so people can just nab it earlier than when they're symptomatic. Because when you're symptomatic, it means you're already stage 4. Sorry, I'm not trying to bring everyone down, but PanCan's really important to me.
Yeah.
And so that is something, an organization I've worked with. The other is UNHCR, which is the UN Refugee Agency. I think in the past, 3 to 5 years, people are just really scared of refugees around the world. It's like it's not to use this word, but it is like a pandemic, because they're worried about a lot of things, and they're genuine concerns, but they're really unfounded, and there's so many people that are struggling, that are displaced. And what I like to do with it is interview and meet refugees so people can put like a face to an idea of what they are, and that's been really wonderful to be working with them.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. And again, where you find the time and energy to do all that, I don't know. The guilt piece may be motivating.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. So one of the things that at Zelle, where we like to give back to the community, doesn't sound quite as noble as the things you're working on.
The urge to be perceived as a good person is also a big part of it. I care about it, and also that's nice too.
Yeah. So for us, one of the things we really care about is financial education, helping people of all ages have the information they need to make good financial choices, because it's hard to be successful in your life if you don't understand the basics of budgeting or planning for your future or paying off debt. And we've seen in some of our studies that 2/3 of American adults don't know how to do those basic skills. So that's something that's been really important to us. And I'm just curious, you're a successful businesswoman. How do you feel about managing finances, and where did you learn about that? Or did you just figure it out as you went along?
I didn't figure it out as I went along. My parents had to teach me a lot, because I don't find it interesting, looking at my credit card statement. It stresses me out thinking about my mortgage payment, and it is one of those things where I'd so much rather focus on my work or my children than to think about my finances, because it worries me, and it worries a lot of people. And so for me, I think it was just before my daughter was born when I started to do like creepy things like make a will, like all that kind of stuff that you have to do when you have kids. Or, you know, when I was 8 months pregnant, I started thinking like I really need to be the person that doesn't just like have my accountant look through things. I really want to be aware of everything. And really starting almost 4 years, my daughter's birthday's tomorrow. It was like 4 years ago, almost to the day, is when I really said like every month I go through everything in life. But I've never been good at money, but the couple things that have helped me in the past couple years have been, I stopped shopping online when I'm bored. That was something that I was just like doing mindlessly. I would just be watching Squid Game and there'd be like some news story I was bored at, and I was like, I'll just go to Shopbop. And I'm like, why? I don't need anything. We're not going anywhere. Like what, you know, like. And so I found that when I simply put my phone away when I was watching TV, I just spent less money. So that was huge for me because I love clothes, I love fashion. I'll just go on Amazon and or whatever. And so that was important, to stop shopping when I was bored. And the other was that I had just thought, just save. But for me, it's not enough to save. I had to start investing, and I had to start becoming interested in investing, which I actually do think is really interesting. And so those are the two things, particularly for women, that really helped me.
Yeah, no, that is great advice. And one of the things that we saw, for a lot of women, there's uncomfortable talking about money. So even just having these conversations and making it okay, like here's some easy steps you can take towards your financial future, I think is really useful. So are you the type of person that makes New Year's resolutions?
Yes, and I make like vision boards.
Tell me more.
Yeah, so the reason I laughed is because every year I inevitably at the end of the year again, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do all these things. And I make a vision board, which I don't know if you guys have made, but I get the poster board from the art supply store and the glitter and everything. And I once heard that you should put the vision board somewhere where you always see it. So I put it behind my door when I'm like leaving my bedroom. And almost every single year, like none of it comes true. And the reason I laugh is because I always put it up, and maybe one or two of the 18 things on there will come true. That'll be like the same size that I was in like 2006. That I'll like live in a gated compound like Shonda Rhimes. Like, oh, this is just like in a spell have like sometimes I don't even want, like I put a picture of a Lamborghini up there. And I was like, dude, I don't even want that. And so I put all these impossible things on this vision board, but just because it makes me feel aspirational and it's fun, and then 6 months later it's taunting me that it doesn't come true. But so I'll probably do it again because it's just fun to have something to hope for, right? It's like my version of Santa Claus. You make your list of things and you hope that someone brings one or two of them or something. But for me this year, my resolution, I really think that I was not super healthy in the pandemic, and I think I didn't keep up some of my healthy habits, like I couldn't go to spin class and do whatever. So I'd really like to get healthier, lose a little weight, and just be healthier so I can live a long life for my kids. And in the past couple of years, I was kind of living like a college student again, like weird meals at 11 p.m., like watching TV till 2 in the morning, like that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, I gotta just get back to my life as like a real adult professional woman.
What will be the picture that motivates you for that?
Let's see. I guess if I really, so just, I'll look up, I'll just look up a photo. It'll be like old Indian woman with grandchildren. And I'll look up a photo like that. I'll print it out on like the printer and I'll cut it out and I'll like put it there. I'm like, oh, there, that's something to aspire to. Yeah. To be an old woman with her grandchildren.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Anyway,
I love picturing that. That was your vision board. That's our holiday giveaway that we're partnering with Mindy on, that we're super excited about. As I mentioned at the beginning of this, we've been really focused on making some people's lives a little bit easier, especially those folks that are so busy. And so we wanted to spread a little extra support and cheer to everyone, but especially those folks that are doing so much for others. So we have $100,000 we'll be giving away, and as Megan mentioned at the start, there's some info on the tables with QR codes so you can get more information about entering. But we're so excited to partner with you, Mindy, on this and getting the word out about this big giveaway. So thank you.
I'm so thrilled. First of all, it's quite a financial commitment. I was really impressed and excited that you guys are doing that, and I'm love to be part of it in any way. And I love that when we first started talking, you said that we want to not just survive during the holidays, but thrive. I was like, oh, it hadn't even occurred to me that you could enjoy this time and really thrive. But it's true, you just get so busy. And so I think that's really wonderful.